Four great pairs in action tonight. Very closely matched, as we were saying at the beginning. Reminder of the format, round robin, 20-minute matches, 30 seconds on the shot clock for the first portion of the match, 15 seconds for the last 5 minutes, should we get that far. First to four wins it, or the result will stand when the clock gets down to 0. Draws are possible in these group stages. And then the winner of the night will be determined by that group table. Last week, in the end, we saw a fairly comfortable result for Aaron and Ryan Davies in a group that looked like it could be quite finely balanced. Today, very tough really to call a winner. Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley on paper probably are going to be the favourites for this group, but I think their first opponents are definitely guys that are going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in the bookies' position, that's for sure. You know, sort of calling an outsider in this group. It's a tough one.
Phil Harrison's a player that just loves playing pool. That's pretty much the first thing he said to me tonight. We were just chatting outside, saying was he looking forward to it. Basically saying he always looks forward to coming to a pool tournament, just loves the game. He's had some tough times off the table, a few family issues. There's also an injury. Those that were watching the European Open a few weeks ago will remember he was hobbling around the table with a boot on. He's just got the all clear this morning, so he's feeling happy to have recovered from that, but there's still a little bit of pain in his ankle.
Yeah, said the same thing to me. Fell off a ladder, I believe, whilst working and broke his foot, so not nice. I'm glad he's back on his feet of sorts and out of the boot, that's for sure. I can relate to being in a support boot. It's not nice. You're a bit lopsided for a little while.
Very consistent players. It's the kind of position that they'd expect to finish from. Just going to be a bit careful with this shot, because the yellow comes into play to the left of the red he's potting, so just going to negotiate his way around that. Played that fairly well, just trying to miss the yellow, but ideally love to have just rolled up a couple more inches so that he was dead straight on the ball to the right centre. Looks like Cameron can just drop this in. That was a good last couple of shots. Neither of those looked much, but didn't have a lot of space to play with. Didn't want to overrun either of those shots. And when they're at their best, this is what these guys are all about. So consistent. Lay down an early marker, which is so important, of course, in this format. When you're playing to a 20-minute match clock, if you get involved in a slow first frame, suddenly half the time can be away. Frame this for Matt Kirk, 2-0 down. He's got some control of this match.
Yeah, importantly, he's made a ball, and there is a path for the finish. Everything has a pocket.
Extension call.
And this really is a must-win frame, although there is still time. It's going to be very hard to come back from 3-0 down. 2-1 is going to get right back in it.
Red ball's in play.
The result's important in your first match of the night, but so is the performance. You feel like you've got something out of the game even if you do go on to lose it. Otherwise the evening can very easily slip away from you. Like his doubles partner, Matt Cook is a vastly experienced player. Very level-headed guy as well.
He's going to have to take his medicine here and just pot this one and play the long red up the rail. I thought he might have played that last shot a little bit differently. Left himself a little bit of angle to get closer to his work. But it'll just be a drop in this. Oh, there you go, see. And that sort of shows he's tried to maybe force the angle there into the pocket and go closer to the red. He should have just took his medicine, especially how reactive this table is. He's kind of tried to stun run through that to go past the yellows. And, you know, obviously the stun has reacted a lot quicker than what it would on a normal table, so he's left himself snookered. I mean, obviously this is still makeable, but this is like a 1 in 50 shot. It's going to go close. No. And you just can't, especially in this format, Mark, you know, you can't give this many chances away. You know, they'll reflect on this game at the end, you know, if they go on to lose it and know that they will have had chances, you know, to win these frames. So you certainly can't keep getting away with it.
That's the disappointing thing, isn't it? If you're just watching the other guys clear up like they did in the first frame, it's not too much of a problem. But having had chances as good as Scott and Matt have both had in the last 2 frames, I mean, this they'll always have felt was going to be their toughest match of the night, but equally, it's so likely that Phil and Cameron are going to have good results against the other teams as well, that if they don't get something out of this first match, they may be too far behind. 2 points for a win, 1 for a draw, so whoever wins this match is sort of halfway. Normally if you get to about 4 points, you're in contention of a 6-red shootout. 6 points, obviously you're guaranteed qualification.
He's not played a very good shot there, because I'm not convinced that this middle yellow of the 3 goes in the middle. And I think if it did, he'd have been down and played it by now. I think he might have to play the snookery, you know. Does it go top right pocket? I quite like the snooker, if you can get it.
15-second shot clock now in play.
It's far from ideal. I think he's just about got the snooker. Is an easy escape. And of course, if he hits this, he leaves the white on the left rail, so it leaves it still difficult for Cam. He's got it. Almost. But he has covered the 8 ball into the top left pocket, so it's give Cam something to think about here. He's going to get first shot at the 8 ball, but it's not going to be an easy one. And if he doesn't get it, he's going to leave Matt on, so I think he'll just be screwing this back to somewhere near the balk line and playing the double. Not quite as far as he wanted it, but double it is. No.
And now this is a glorious chance for Matt Cook. Could not ask for more than this to get back into this match. No massive pressure on that last shot from Cameron, but he'll be disappointed. Well, Matt, frankly, with that shot.
Such a bad shot that is for Matt. Put loads of pressure on himself to pot this now, and no guaranteed position on the 8. He's missed it. And the way he's played it, he deserved to miss it. I hate to be cruel, but it's such a bad shot for a player of Matt's standards. I don't know if he got a bad contact, but I don't think he did. Just a really, really bad positional shot, and they've had the chances, just not taking them so far.
Team that are already 3-0 up that have the first chance. Well, not the easiest starter, but all that they really cared about was potting a ball there, because as long as they can stay at the table for a while and waste a bit of time, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's right. Even if they were to go on and lose this frame, pot him off the break there, wasting the clock, using their extension. They've wasted enough of the clock, I think, to get the job done. And if Phil makes this yellow off the face of the red, which he has done, it's a nice shot.
Yellow ball's in play.
Cameron needs to hurry up.
Close to a time foul, but just strike the ball before the chime sounded.
It's amazing how many times it still catches you out. That, I mean, we've been playing with the shot clock for so long now, and it still catches even the top players out sometimes.
It's funny to say that the camera's not a player that's relishing the 15-second shot clock. We're very happy with the way this match has gone, though. Obviously, they'd love to finish this off with a 4-0 win, but they've done most of what they needed to now. And a minute and a half remaining.
Oh, what a shot. That's a lovely shot. Fantastic shot. What a finish this is going to be to round the match off. Lovely job.
Well, it wasn't a clearance they had to get. It would have been sufficient to have just wasted a bit of time. In the end, what a finish. Bookended by a good finish at the beginning and a good finish at the end. Two scrappy frames in between. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, Oli Bale and Sonny Bale take on Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey. So, to our second match of the night, uncle and nephew combo Oli and Sonny Bale take on Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey.
No, that's not very good, is it?
Go on, the boys! Bale breaks off, but comes up dry.
We need room here.
There's a good atmosphere out there tonight. A little bit of banter going on between the boys. It's good to see. Probably not the same level of banter you would get in a professional event, but in this kind of event it adds to all the excitement and all the fun. Now let's see
Red balls.
where these boys are at from the off. Good chance to take the opening frame.
Probably the least well known of the players in an ultimate pool sense, John Joe Sharkey, but he's a decent player. I think he could be a force in tonight's competition. He looks pretty confident as well. He doesn't really have the demeanour that we've seen from some players in previous weeks that have looked pretty nervous that it's their first time out there. He's brought a lively crowd with him. Seems to be enjoying the occasion. One thing Ian Alley's very good at is playing under these kind of pressure situations. He loves playing challenge matches where he quite often has a big crowd with him and playing in very boisterous conditions. Some people really struggle with that, but obviously some people, they lift their game.
Just an example there of how this table can catch you out. It is very, very quick. Just got a thin chop on this one. I think he will get it. Really short.
Should have been a completely routine shot that, but Ian left with a much thinner clip than he was expecting. Recovered it really nicely though. First pressure shot for John Joe. How much the crowd are enjoying it.
Wow, it's a final that.
He didn't want to slip him,
I'll be happy with that. A couple of balls down. Cue ball a little bit tied up, but you can still see a red at least.
Red balls in play.
Now that's all opened up nicely. Very quick player, Oli Bale. Real natural entertainer.
Yeah, great player when he's flying. Not had the best couple of seasons really by his own standards, but as I said in the pre-match interview, all the commitments of taking him away from the practice table. But he's certainly very dangerous. Oh, played a really poor shot. Yeah, such a bad shot. Massive space to land in. I mean, he could guarantee himself a pot on it, really. Such a poor shot.
In the last season or two, it's been those kind of shots that have been costing him. He plays some good shots and then he will just throw in the odd loose one.
Extension call.
And it's not just the bad shot that you've played, but it's kind of plays on your mind after you've played it, you know, and that's, you know, I think find, you know, a big difference between the better players and the not so good players is the ability to just be able to go, okay, well, that's happened, and look at this for sure. Good effort. The ability to just switch off and go, okay, well, that's happened, it's gone, move on.
He's definitely someone that gives a lot more away, isn't he? When you see him at the table, it shows his frustration. Though I think he has been working on that. He did reference that at the beginning of the night tonight, saying he was looking to play a more measured game today, play a bit more like the style that Sonny is bringing to the partnership. Ian Alley, you feel, has been knocking on the door of a really big title. I've seen him in a few tournaments where he's looked great, and then something has just gone away from him. Very entertaining in the last man standing out in this arena back in the summer. Again, that was a sort of not a similar format in the sense it was a completely different style of tournament, but also quick races and quite a lively atmosphere. You see, it plays a very quick style.
Yeah, he's not hanging around, is he?
Right now, this is all one-way traffic. Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey 3-0 to the good now. And it's all happened pretty quickly. Probably wouldn't really be enough though. Right, so the Bales just need to go for this. They just need to go for a clearance. I mean, even if they don't win the match, just try and get something out of this. Well, that'll work.
Yeah, I think that was the only shot on, Mark, I'll be honest. Yeah, the fluke was the only shot on. Oh, hello. Oh, what a shot that is. That's turned out nice. There's just not the time left here, unfortunately, for the Bales.
There's not, but I still think there's a lot of value in clearing up here because it's been a bit scrappy so far in this match. If they could at least get a frame on the board, they'll feel a bit happier about it. Oh, well. And that's the kind of thing you see from Ole. There are times when he'll play a shot like that, or he's known for playing very well one-handed, but he'll occasionally just go for a crazy shot. Yeah, he's having none of it. He wants to get this match finished off.
I'd love to see him pot this just for comedy purposes.
Well, the handshake offered. In truth, that was a bit of a non-event from Ole and Sonny Bale. Some entertaining stuff, though, from Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey. Not put under huge pressure, but pulled out some flamboyant shots at times. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with our third match very shortly. Welcome back to the action for our all-important third match of the night at the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. The two pairs in action who lost their first round matches. Matt Cook and Scott Yardley take on Ole Bale and Sonny Bale. This is a must-win for both teams. Whoever loses the match will be mathematically out of contention, even though they'll still have a game to go. Whoever can get a win, though, assuming it does go to a win rather than a draw, will be right back in contention. Not the best performance, you'd have to say, from either of these pairs in their first matches. Both had quite a number of chances that they failed to put away.
Extension called.
Even though that was only a few minutes ago, things can change pretty quickly from match to match, though. We could well see a totally different type of match here.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yeah, I think the beauty of this second match is that you know you've got to win it, so sometimes it can kind of sharpen you up a little bit and think, right, okay, well, time to knuckle down and get a result here, you know, keep yourself in contention. So, but where these balls have landed from this break, I mean, could be in for a bit of a grueler here.
For the most part, you'd say Matt and Scott probably favour this game more than Ole and Sonny, the more tactical, patient game, but only one frame, anything can happen. Don't want to be too critical at the end of that last match, but I do think there was some benefit in Ole and Sonny trying to just get a frame on the board. Doesn't make any difference in terms of the result. It doesn't go on frame difference, but I think it does just help settle you down into the evening when you've got the clearance.
Well, that's not the worst result in the world, that, for the Bales. They've brought the yellows into play and not really left a straightforward shot from a red.
Yeah, you can see from Matt and Scott's reaction, they probably feel like they could have expected something a bit easier than this. It's not really going to suit either team for this to get into a long drawn-out match. Draw is pretty much the worst result for everybody. Would not necessarily quite end the tournament, but would pretty much guarantee that both pairs were out if it did finish as a draw. So both of them are going to be playing positively, you assume. Both Matt and Scott always looked pretty steady out in this arena, but maybe haven't quite shown their best. Or at least for Matt, he's had more big results on the outside tables on the Pro Series than he has out in this main match arena. I feel like maybe he's one of those players that's just a win or two away from things really turning around. If he could just get some big win out in this main table, it could really change the trajectory of his season.
Yeah, probably doesn't suit his kind of style of play, the short shot clock, does it? It's not really him. He's not renowned for being an ultra quick player and dashing on the table, and probably being 6'3", 6'4", you know what I mean? That probably is not helping matters either, is it? So not built for speed. Matters, he's not, a bit like our good friend Andy Blurton, practice partner and friend around here. He's at 6'7". I don't think he was ever going to be a sprinter, I'll be honest. He's far too tall for that. Wasn't that a shot? Ooh, lucky.
Well, set against that with Andy, he did, of course, win the first group in this event in the 6-red shootout.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, amazing, really.
Beating the defending champions, John McAllister and Connor Tracy. I mean, it wasn't a surprise result because he was playing with Neil Rayburn. They're both top players, but it was a tough group, that first one.
Playing that very clever loss of turn shot, it's turned into a frame-winning opportunity. As Matt certainly not making the same mistake again, leaving himself his partner no shot. Two straightforward pots here.
This table tends to play quite quick, which is why I think he was probably scared in that first match. He played that positional shot where he completely underhit it. Probably scared of it being too firm. I was also had a double take on that. We didn't have a chance.
Oh, 8 ball! Oh, what a time to make the 8 ball. And a golden break, the first one of the evening. And he is absolutely right to smile as well. Lovely split. Didn't hit them particularly hard, but he split well. What a time to get that.
He didn't hit it particularly hard, did he? Eight ball was always tracking for that corner there. What a moment. To win this match, because if they can just hang on in here, they're going to be right back in this. Matt Cook and Scott Yardley, and that's the important bit. Get a ball down, you stay in control of the table. Matt's just got to be thinking about potting 5 or 6 loose reds here. Ideally, obviously, make the full clearance, but doesn't need to rush himself.
He's done it again there, hasn't he? He's under it, that shot now, twice. Wanted to bounce probably another 4 inches there towards the middle of the table.
Now we have to play the ball nearest to the cue ball, which is obviously an easy enough pot, but again, just not as easy a shot as he could have left himself. He's been reluctant to play the 2 cushion positional shot. Again, there could have played around the 2 cushions out into the middle. It's not really an issue either way. He's actually playing a little bit faster than he needs to. I'm not expecting him to miss anything, obviously, but In a sense, you may as well just run the clock down to 0 and make absolutely sure of the match. Well, fortunately from his point of view, even though he snookered himself, there's enough time on the shot clock that he's not going to need to play another shot. So Matt Cook and Scott Yardley do get their first win of the night on the board. 3 frames to 1 against a dispirited Oli Bale and Sonny Bale. That's out of contention now for the Bales, but very much back in contention for Cook and Yardley. Join us again in a few minutes with match 4 of tonight's event. Back to our 4th match of the night. Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey take on Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley. This is the winners' match. These are the 2 that won their first match of the night. So whoever does win this and it goes to a definitive result is going to be in prime position for tonight's group. No question these have looked like the 2 best pairings. The other 2 have struggled a bit to get into it. Both had good wins in their first match. John Joe Sharkey, who's the player that hasn't played out in this arena before, looks pretty good on his first showing. Just to say that way, he's come up short with that positional shot.
Yeah, on this sort of cloth, the cue ball grips almost immediately, so obviously it kills the pace. And that's exactly what's just happened there. Well, a lovely bit of cueing that is from Ian Alley. Under a bit of pressure there as well, because reds aren't particularly difficult, so you need to make that part.
That's one of Ian's biggest strengths. He's not somebody that dwells on the fact that he's got into a bad position. He's just a very good single ball potter. Really good at recovering those kind of situations. It's a real contrast with the way we've seen Oli Bale, who's also a great shot maker, but just looked a bit disappointed a few times when things haven't gone well. Ian's a very different character with that. He just gets on with the next shot. John Joe. Prime position, just needs to draw the cue ball back. Very interesting pair up this. Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley, far the more measured of the players. Completely different demeanour, of course. They have the same loud crowd support. Got some supporters in, but going about things in a slightly different way. So 2-0 to the good in this race to 4. John Joe Sharkey breaks off in the 3rd frame. That's a bad kiss there. Heavy contact with the cue ball, flies it into the pocket. Heading in that direction, but took a nasty nudge off that red. And now Cameron Tolley has really got to get something out of this frame. Should have been 1-1. Certainly not going to be out of it if they lose this match, but it's up their evening.
Phil,
well, yeah, that's the beauty of the pairs, that he can tell him, because without that, the ref certainly can't tell him, and that would have been a foul, because it's not ball in hand from the break.
Yeah, it's the one time it's not ball in hand anywhere. In off the break is ball in hand just behind the break line. Oh, that's a poor shot. He's hit that far too hard. He's just ended up throwing wider as a result. He was trying to play Karen onto the yellow and red together.
That's it, we've got all the time in the world. From the back of it. Little chaparoonie.
Really offering some firm coaching advice.
Just wants to pump the yellow just away from the red so it's potable next shot.
That's not fair.
Clever.
Yeah, clever shot. I think he ought to hit it a bit harder than that, just get it a bit further out of the way. Cameron's done the work for him.
But now there's a clear opportunity, especially with 2 yellows here on the top rail, close to each other. They're not easy, so a good chance for the boys here to take a 3-0 lead.
Yes, Sharky, come on now, baby.
But if they were to take the frame from here, you would have thought we're going to be maximum 8 minutes left. Still enough time. But you'd certainly rather be 3 to the good than 3 behind with 8 minutes left.
Yeah, that clock plays very big. It's not literally going down to 0, just the fact of the time pressure. Just slipped down with ideal position. You see, it's just having to rack his brains here about how they're going to get about this finish now.
Extension called.
I say they, it is John Joe Sharkey that will be playing all the shots, but Ian is playing a full part in this frame nonetheless.
It's very much like having a caddy, isn't it? The golf. I mean, you know, you see a lot of these caddies who are obviously good players in their own right, but you know, it's mad to think that, you know, you could have the best golfer in the world and the caddy's sort of giving him advice, and it sounds mad, but more often than not, that person's there just as a voice of reason and maybe to point out things that you might not spot yourself. Be like a good coach, really, is exactly the same sort of purpose, is not to tell you how to play, but to maybe say, okay, well, ordinarily you do this and you're not doing it, or, you know, just pointing little things out that you're not going to notice yourself, but chance here to play the loss of turn shot and leave a very difficult half chance. John Joe, what can you do from here?
What a shock.
That advice is also particularly useful when you're playing with the short shot clock. Sometimes you just haven't had a chance to think through everything. Partner points out something that may be obvious but hasn't yet occurred to you.
Oh, what shot this is. Oh, what a shot that is.
That
is
one
an
shot
unbelievable
is
shot.
open the frame right up. Threads the needle with this double. You saw how close it got to the second red as well.
He's over it, that one, that's for sure. He's definitely over it, that one. It is a reasonably big pocket to the top right. What's he going to leave? I think the 8 might pass the yellow over this bottom right hand corner. Got it. I tell you what,
Big shot, big shot.
he's really taken to this arena tonight.
He's loving it out there, isn't he? What a finish this is going to be. If John Joe can get this black. Can pot it off the yellow. I think that makes it an easier shot to judge as well.
Oh, so close. No cigar.
Just got a bit too much of the yellow, a bit too much pace. Now, Cameron Tolley got gift-wrapped an opportunity in his first match of the night when he thought he'd messed up. Played the best first shot, though. That can only be nerves, can't it?
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's amazing what a little bit of pressure can do to your game. Just close to the in off here. Just close to the in off. Turns out that he's landed perfect.
Well, we've seen some pressure already tonight. Some players have played some unexpected positional shots. Cameron Tolley will be very happy to fall over the line in that frame.
8 balls on the move. Oh, and what a time to get a golden 8. Wow, the second of the night and a great time to get it. And the lads go crazy. Look at this. Fantastic.
What a way to round out the match. Celebrations for the golden break and celebrations for the win, because John Joe Sharkey and Ian Alley have completed a great win there over the pre-event favourites, Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley. It is Alley and Sharkey that will go top of the table. When we come back, we will be joining match 5. Welcome back to the action for our 5th match of the night. The group intriguingly poised now after that win for Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey in the last match. They sit at the top of the table on 4 points. Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley on 2 points. Matt Cook and Scott Yardley on 2 points. The only people guaranteed to be out are unfortunately the 2 that we're looking at now. Oli and Sonny Bale yet to get off the mark in terms of winning any matches, so they're out of contention.
Red balls in.
Maybe that takes some of the pressure off though. Sometimes we do see people in that position with nothing to lose, they start playing a bit better. Harrison and Tolley really want to get something out of this match, because if they can get on to 4 points, it'll all be down to the last match of the night. Already this is looking better from Oli and Sonny than in a lot of what's gone before. They've shown moments of promise, but just haven't been able to string it together consistently enough. They've looked a little downhearted at times. That's a good shot as well. Had to kill the cue ball there, just leave only as straight as possible on the ball to the left centre. Would have loved a roll more to leave Sonny a bit straighter, but he's always going to have a shot at the 8 ball.
Shot.
Wow, that's a much better start. There's a degree of pressure on trying to get this match won. The best of breaks, in the sense he didn't seem to make a great contact with the pack. The cue ball flying around the back. He caught that wrong, but not a terrible outcome. Sometimes you do miss-hit a break, and it is still possible.
Yellow balls in play.
Really key frame this. When you're playing opponents that've got nothing to lose and are already out of contention, they're playing with a lot more freedom. You don't really want them getting 3-1 ahead.
Not quite on that, I don't think. Thought he might have tried to get the bad one off the rail there, to be honest.
It seemed like he had a good angle to play that cannon, but decided against it.
He's under the cosh now. He's got to turn this cue ball over a little bit here. If he wants to spin on the cue ball. It's a nice shot though, he's played it well. Now he's got to play the plant.
Hard one to judge this, because the second ball's slightly off the cushion, so you've got to get the first one slightly off the cushion, but you don't want to overdo it and well played that, although it's over the hole.
Wow, what a shot that is. At that pace as well. Look, it was a sitter.
I don't think a lot of players would have been playing it as hard as that, but he's nailed that. It's a little bit laboured so far from Phil, but he's getting the job done.
Oh, Cameron.
Well, I was about to say, this looks like it's going to be 4 from 4 in terms of first visit 8 ball clearances, but if it is going to be 4 from 4, Phil Harrison's going to have to come up with a real shot here.
Yeah, that's so poor, isn't it? You know, he had a massive space to land in there, really. Anything short would have been fine, even just rolling it in would have been guaranteed a shot. And now, hello. Well, just look at where he's left the 8 ball though. I mean, very, very tough. No need here to take these on, really. I mean, you can do. You don't have to. Well, I think this is just going to be a bit of a whack.
Well, can you miss the first red? If you can get the 8 ball onto the second red with some pace, he's got a chance of making this.
That was close. It would have been close if that red. Oh, hello. Oh.
Wow, everything's happening there. Goodness, what a shot that was.
Well, that's put pressure on them. That's for sure. That's incredible. What a result that is for them.
Oh, takes 2 nudges, so nearly finds the pocket, but just pulls up short in the end. And now for Oli, he's got to make something happen here because that 8-ball's waiting over the pocket. Good first shot, some pressure on that. Easy second pot here for Sonny, but what's not so easy is getting really good shape. He needs to unlock this pattern of the 3 that are tied up on the left side.
Another turn, maybe another turn or 2. He'd have been perfect as it is. This is now extremely tough. He can't even come close to the red. He's got to come at least 3-4 cushions here. He just hasn't got the angle to get back this side of the table.
Calls for the extension because he's got a bit to think about. He's got to play a good shot here because he can't afford just to pot this and leave those 2 reds stuck.
I'll tell you what, that's about as good as he could have landed in it. He's had a result there. He's caught the knuckle and it's kept him on this side of the table because that was so natural to just come the other side of the table. But this, what a chance this is now for the guys. Got to make the most of these opportunities when you get them. And he's missed it. What an opportunity that was. After having a little bit of luck.
Wow, what a crazy frame that was. So Sonny tied up in knots for a good portion of the last few shots.
Well, that's not the end of the world. That is not the end of the world. It's pressure on Cameron now. He needs to hurry up.
Yeah, that's a pretty good outcome from where Sonny was. So he's had to play the cross double. Oh, how close was that? And how important could that be in the context of this match? And indeed in the context of this group, because there's only just over 1 minute remaining now, so it's likely that this will be the decisive frame. Oh my goodness, what have we seen there?
Okay, you've got a minute. Go.
Well, that's incredible.
What is going on?
Now, Cameron Tolley needs to get on with this. The time is running out.
He's not the quickest player in the world either, is he, Cameron? So he needs to make sure of these as well because a draw is no good.
A draw is no good at all. This is a big, big visit to the table here for Cameron Tolley. This is going to change the course of tonight's group.
He should never miss these, really. That's a lovely shot. Played that well.
Phil can barely bring himself to watch this. He knows how important this is. The 8-ball's easy, so it's all on this yellow, which is obviously also pretty easy, but take nothing for granted at this stage.
Let the clock wind down here. Let the clock wind down.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Well, I suppose he was always going to leave time for a break. Maybe that wasn't avoidable. So offers the handshake. Well, the handshake is just for that frame. They want to keep the score like this. 3-2 puts them at the top of the table, or equal top on 4 points, and keeps them in tonight's group. Surely, yeah, I was going to say, surely he can't hit that too hard. That's a foul break, though.
Foul break.
Wow, this is an interesting situation. that was the thing he couldn't afford to do. I think he did have to hit it a bit harder than that.
The thing is with Cameron there, okay, so he had 15 seconds left. There was 15 seconds left on the match clock. If he waits until the last second and pots the 8-ball, there's then 1 second. By the time the breaks, even if he foul breaks, he's not the time. It's done. It almost sort of tempts. This could happen now. I would just imagine if they get a golden break here.
I mean, this would be an amazing outcome if they managed to steal this.
It's fascinating how he's not wasted more time there, Cameron, really, you know, on them balls.
So it doesn't really matter to early bail. He's just going to go for this, but Cameron and Phil are going to be looking on nervously. He couldn't, could he? He's got the 8 ball moving, but it's not moving far enough. And the time has got down to 0. So a very relieved Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley fall over the line in a match that is crucial to their hopes of staying alive in this Group 13. They get up to the top of the table. They are tied with Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey on 4 points, but it will be Ian and John Joe in play in our last match of the evening against Matt Cook and Scott Yardley. So back out into the arena for this all-important last match of the night. Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey have their own fate in their hands. They sit at top of the table with 4 points. If they get anything out of this match, a win or a draw, they will be our group champions and will book a last 16 place. If they lose the match, we're going to be in an intriguing situation because we're going to have 3 players tied on 4 points. So Phil Harrison, Cameron Tolley, Matt Cook, Scott Yardley, Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey will all be on the same score, and it will be a 3-way 6-red shootout. Nice situation obviously for Ian and John Joe in that things are in their own hands. That's how you always want it to be. In terms of energy levels, they've for sure been the players of the night. Ian and John Joe just look so much more animated than everybody else we've seen. There's been a slight flat feeling around some of the other games. They seem to have gelled well as a team. Ian's been pretty active in offering support to John Joe.
Yes, boys, come on.
Yeah, they've definitely looked the more assured out there
For sure.
on the evening, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice shot that from Ian.
Come on, boys.
And this is the way to start the match. When you need to win the match, get the first frame on the board like that. Funnily enough, that almost looks like it's having the effect of relaxing their opponents who had looked a bit nervous. That's the happiest they've looked so far in this match.
Go on, Sharky. Here, sit down.
That's not necessarily the textbook technique, and the ball's turning up with quite a lot of spin. But seem to hit them hard and seem to hit them pretty cleanly. Slightly messy layout though, a couple of balls on the right hand side.
Say knowledge.
Yeah, and no real need to take anything on. 2-0 to the good. And at the moment in the driving seat to top the group. Don't need to take any unnecessary risks.
Oh. Rubbish.
It's an interesting shot. If you can make this one over the left middle, these are on.
You just feel that they fancy it. They don't want to just fall over the line here. They want to do it in style. Imagine how loud the celebrations are going to be if they do win this match.
It'd be a bit of a contrast if you just got an I-5 and it was really quiet, wouldn't it?
A polite well done.
Yeah, the atmosphere we've had all night off these boys has been great.
Get this, I'll get you a pair of shoes. Come on, the shark, you got this, baby. Come on.
They're just pointing at the gap that he wants to find. It's all about how he gets to the red that's to the left of the 8 ball.
Yeah, Sharky!
See, one of his friends there just said if you get this done and get yourself a new pair of shoes. So I'm assuming the joke before was about his shoes. I've not really seen them up close, but I assume they're probably not in the best of states given the given that comment. Yep, the cameraman's trying his best to zoom in on him. They have to do better than that one, though, I'm afraid. Didn't quite catch that. Don't worry about the pool. Let's get to the shoes. Let's see what's going on. Lovely shot. Had to pinch the pocket there. Played it well.
Yeah, he did well to find that gap. That was the key to unlocking this frame. Well, that's been good from John Joe. He'd like to have made the 8-ball unmissable. He's left it in a place where he's going to play a bit of a shot.
Come on, you got this, mate. Come on, mate. Come on, the shark.
Great support out there for these two tonight.
Yeah, questionably the best support of any of the 4 pairings.
Yeah, nice. Oh, it's just bobbled. Thought it was going to drop with the pace.
Yeah, it was always a bit overcut, but it looked like it might drop in. Wow, how big a moment could this be? 3-0 down would have been tough for Matt Cook. He can get these balls and get it back to 2-1. This is a completely different game. They're not easy though, and there's the pressure of that 8-ball hanging over the pocket. Oh my goodness, it looked like he'd missed that. Somehow if the 8-ball's frozen in the middle of the top cushion, you're thinking this is an easy clearance and he's not going to feel the pressure, but just knowing that any mistake is going to be the end of the frame. He's got a couple of balls at this end of the table, particularly the one on the left-hand side. Although it's in a sort of open position, it's just not... It's not one that you just automatically end on. You've got to play a shot to get there. The one that's nearest the cue ball pots, he's in good shape. It's pretty tight. Obviously, he does. It's pretty tight to get past the other yellow.
Just never quite been in position, has he here, Matt? Just a little bit out every time. There's always something to do. Another one here is going to bounce on and off the rail or stun into a little gap. So.
Oh, this is a massive moment, not just in the context of this match, but in the context of this whole group. 3-0 and the group's almost dead, but 2-1 and everyone's suddenly interested again.
No.
Ooh. How close was that? It just goes begging though. John Joe Sharkey, he's left the 8-ball over the pocket on his last shot. He'll be very relieved to come back to get it. So in this race to 4, Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey are 3/4 of the way towards the winning post. So last chance to lean this for Scott Yardley. He's found the corner pocket of a cut break, which shows how bad he's hit that. Let's have a look at this. Very rare to see that.
Extension call.
Play that break thinking that if nothing else you're going to keep the cue ball safe. So first chance for Ian Alley to get this match won.
Oh. And a poor miss. There's a big slide. I don't know if you got a bit of a heavy contact on it. I'm not sure because it looked pretty heavy when he hit it. But that beep indicates we're now into the last 5 minutes and the boys have got to get a move on here. They've not really got the time to be doing what they're doing. Almost got to play off a little bit of instinct.
Yeah, it doesn't come naturally, I don't think, to these two to play too quick of a game, but it's almost easier here. The draw's no good to them. They've got to win. Obviously, the time is what it is. They've just got to go for it, not overthink. So they've got to play yellow off red to open this pocket up. Oh, that's a good shot.
It's a great shot.
Oh, that's not.
I'm fascinated that he's done that. If you just top that in, you've got the natural angle to bounce off the rail and come the other side of the table for the yellow in the left middle as we look at the table. Fascinating choice of shot.
Extension called. Yeah, that's cool. Tickle extension.
Cheerio, cheerio, cheerio.
Well, you've got to say, they've had their chances.
Get out your fin back on.
How he was playing it, but a million miles away in the end from potting it.
Definitely second prize. Oh, what a pot. He's got down and punched it in like it was over the pocket. He's looked good out there, John Joe, tonight. Looked really calm and collected and played some nice shots.
Yeah, it's not very often that we see rookies play consistently well. Sometimes they play a few good shots, but often eventually it catches up with them. He's just looked pretty assured the whole way through.
Use the time. Use your time.
Serves them okay to pot a few balls here. I mean, obviously they'd like to pot all of them, but the time is running down. It's obviously making the immediate clearance more challenging, but it potentially wastes a bit more time in the frame. Cook and Yardley would have to win all 4 remaining frames, and they're going to have less than 2 minutes to do it, even if they get another chance.
Leave Shock in the top one. Come on, this is the way we're doing it.
Ian wants to pot a good one now as well. He's good left-hander.
So a big shot this.
Yeah, nice.
Never in doubt.
That's lovely. That's a really, really good finish from these boys to round off the evening.
What a performance this has been. Ian Alley and John Joe Sharkey win 4-0. Scott Yardley and Matt Cook can do no more than offer a handshake and their congratulations. They had their chances in that match, but ultimately Ian and John Joe just look the likely winners the whole way through tonight. They played the game in the right spirit. They brought a lot of supporters along who clearly really enjoyed themselves. They end up winning Group 13 and will go through to the last 16 in a few weeks' time.